He wasn't just handsome, he was the kind of boy who remembered the little things, spoke gently, and made girls believe in love again. But when she walked in, broken and guarded, his world quietly changed forever. The rain had been falling quietly for hours, casting a soft rhythm on the windows of the little art studio at the edge of the city. It was the kind of evening that made the world feel slower, quieter, more thoughtful. Inside, easels stood like forgotten sentinels, half-finished paintings staring into the dim light. And sitting alone in the corner, Aariz dipped his brush in muted blue, his mind far from the canvas. He was tall, with a posture that made him look both confident and humble. His hair curled slightly at the edges, and he wore a light gray sweater that hung effortlessly on his frame, sleeves pushed to his forearms. Everything about him was effortless. Girls noticed him, they always had, but Aariz didn't notice them back, not out of arrogance, but out of a deeper yearning that no shallow attention could ever fill. He was waiting, though he didn't quite know for what. Maybe a connection, maybe someone who'd look past his calm exterior and see the whirlwind of warmth he was always ready to offer. He was kind in quiet ways, remembering the barista's name, offering his seat without thinking, listening like your words actually mattered. But people rarely stayed long enough to realize that. Until Lina walked in. She was late, a little out of breath, rain clinging to her eyelashes like diamonds. She had a tired beauty to her, the kind that came from someone who had been strong for too long. Her eyes were sharp, yet there was something soft behind them, like she was constantly guarding a fragile truth. She apologized to the instructor with a half smile, and when her eyes scanned the room for an open seat, fate placed her next to Aariz. They didn't speak at first, just worked side by side in that kind of silence that isn't uncomfortable, the kind where two energies slowly begin to recognize each other. Aariz didn't stare, but he noticed the chipped polish on her nails, the way she held her pencil like it was something delicate, the occasional glance she threw when she thought he wasn't looking. By the third session, she spoke. "You always paint in blues," she said, brushing her own hair behind her ear. He looked at his canvas, then at her. "It's a color that understands me." She smiled faintly, then turned back to her work. That was all, but that one sentence opened a door. They began talking more, not constantly, but meaningfully. She told him about her childhood, growing up between two cities, never feeling at home in either. He told her about his grandmother, the only person who ever made him feel truly seen. She admitted she didn't believe in love anymore. He didn't try to convince her otherwise, just told her he'd wait until she did. Every week, Aariz brought something to her, a little gift that wasn't loud but always thoughtful. A bookmark with pressed lavender, because she once said she loved its scent. A playlist of instrumental songs that reminded him of her voice. A cup of matcha, always the right sweetness, with her name spelled correctly, something no cafe ever got right. She began to unravel, slowly. The girl who never let anyone carry her bags let him walk her home. The girl who hated photos allowed him to sketch her. The girl who never cried in front of anyone finally broke down when she talked about a boy who left without saying goodbye, and Aariz didn't try to fix it. He just held her hand, silently promising never to disappear. One night, after class, they stood under a broken streetlight. The world felt suspended. Rain was falling again, gently this time, like the sky was whispering secrets to the ground. Lina looked at him. "Why are you always so kind to me?" Aariz didn't hesitate. "Because you deserve to be loved softly. The world has been loud enough." She blinked, tears forming but not falling. He reached out, tucking a wet strand of hair behind her ear, and for a moment, everything else melted. No past, no fears, no reasons to hold back. Just two hearts, inches apart, finally beating in rhythm. Their first kiss wasn't perfect. It was hesitant, nervous, but it was real, honest, and it changed everything. From then on, Aariz and Lina became the kind of love story that wasn't about grand gestures or dramatic declarations. It was about presence, about showing up. Aariz waited outside her office with flowers after a hard day. She made playlists for his morning runs. They cooked dinner together in quiet laughter, danced barefoot in his kitchen, sent each other voice notes that sounded like poetry. She began believing again. In love, in men, in forever. One evening, while watching the sunset from a rooftop, she asked him, "Did you always know it would be me?" He smiled, eyes soft as the sky. "I didn't know, but I always hoped someone like you existed. And then you walked in, wet from the rain, and I knew I'd wait for 1,000 Tuesdays just to talk to you." She leaned her head on his shoulder. "I think I love you." He wrapped his arm around her, his voice barely above a whisper. "I've loved you since you asked me about my blues." And there they sat, a tall boy with a gentle soul and a girl who was finally learning that maybe, just maybe, she didn't have to carry the weight of the world alone. Their story wasn't perfect, but it was theirs. Honest, soft, real. The kind of love that doesn't fade, the kind that stays, the kind that feels like home.